Okay, can you hear me now? I forgot the last time I streamed Eden, I had a different microphone, so I just had to reconfigure my settings, but thank you for letting me know. I appreciate you. Alright, let's keep going. So, Lucius wants our attention. You and I have the same goal, don't we? Asked Lucius, a gleam in his eyes. You need to get a handle on the current situation as quickly as possible. That noise might be the key to stopping the troops. I'll head there immediately. Meet me there. When you get out of the tunnel, walk by the Union Pathway and you'll see the area where the incident took place. There's no mistaking it. And we're heading to Meteor Crater, and I believe that's going to be the dungeon for the new area. Yeah, no, I get you. But yeah, apparently this is where the story of the game actually finally gets interesting for once, so I'm hoping to read through it all. So let's just hope the translations stay mostly okay. And yeah, as I was told, auto-pathing is a bit scuffed and it's getting us stuck on objects. So just keep that in mind if you guys are playing along. Hopefully it's something they address in a future update. I was, but at the very least, Akka heard me. Lucius carefully tied a message to a pigeon's bony leg and released the bird. It disappeared into the sky. He stared into the clouds vacantly. After a moment, he turned to you, sadness and exhaustion in his eyes. I can't believe you're here, eternal children. We only parted about 30 seconds ago, but I'm glad you followed me all the way here. How was the view of the Union Pathway? Quite majestic, wouldn't you say? That road was specially made for the Valencia Federation's troops. Statues of ancient heroes lined the road to remind soldiers of their secret mission. However, the meteor changed everything. It left behind a massive crater. It will likely take many lifetimes for the landscape to revert to what it once was. Are you telling me these guys are starting a full-on war when a meteor just landed in their kingdom and they're just completely ignoring it? Anyway, just as Paisha surmised, this meteor didn't kill anyone. Not even animals, Lucius muttered, looking over a crumpled sheet of paper. I've already received some information from the scout. Now let me explain what this meteor has. Wait. Lucius thought for a moment, then chuckled dryly. It's probably better if you investigate, eternal children. I'd like to know what else you think about this meteor that accidentally fell to Earth at this precise place. That's it. Well, they call us children, but that's more so just a title, if anything, to refer to the player characters in this game. Anyway, among the cracked rocks, you found some strange letters embedded in smooth surfaces. It was difficult to assess if the writing was artificial or natural. A strange odor stung your nose. It smelled like scorched earth, but there was also another sickeningly sour note you didn't recognize. The meteor was covered in an odd, sticky mud, and several foreign-looking plants clung to it. Most were singed, but not completely burnt. You concluded that these alien plants must have fallen with the meteor. But why was there any kind of vegetation on a flaming space rock? The meteor was becoming more and more suspicious by the moment. Yeah, me too. I originally tried to read through the quests when Eden relaunched, but unfortunately the translations were so scuffed that it just wasn't possible to read anything. And I was warned in advance some of these translations aren't going to be the best, mostly because of a couple of things. Apparently, the Taiwanese translation wasn't the best. And okay, it looks like this NPC isn't loaded unless you physically walk over here, which is another reason why the quest tracker might not be working to auto move. So again, I guess just keep that in mind when you come over. You're back. How was it? See anything odd? Asked Luchess, raising an eyebrow. The people of the Valencia Federation have heard so much about the abilities of the Eternal Children, but seeing is truly believing. I'm just going to ignore the S there. You told Luchess that you believe the meteor was not just a simple natural disaster. You believe someone had caused it to fall. The meteor was encrusted with strange foreign mud. You deduced that it was actually a chunk of a continent, not just a giant stone from space. How did I determine that? After relating your thoughts, you realize that if someone were aiming these falling meteors at Earth for sinister purposes, they likely would have tossed it in a much more heavily populated area. You scratch your chin, puzzled. Upon hearing your theories, Luchess turned white as a ghost and began to sweat. I guess that was just the test. Don't tell me you already know, Luchess said, raising a suspicious eyebrow. No, it's impossible. You figured it out based on so little information. You truly are eternal children, aren't you? Well, your deductions are correct. That is the character's merit, not mine, because I don't know how anyone would have come to that conclusion. I'll explain more later. Now, since we know this was no accident, please help me convince my brother and sister, he mused. Without meaning to do so, you gasp. You mean the silver-haired, edgy, emo anime boy? His brother and sister with the two redhead prince and princess? Shocking. Oh, you didn't know? I'm the illegitimate son of the Brady King. The words of a proud and brave eternal children are worth much more than the ones of a man like me. Well, I think you're going to be the future king. I'm assuming we go in here. I was correct. Oh shit. They're going at it. Poison? Oh, he's taken down them both. God damn. That happened a lot sooner than I expected. Ah, and of course, the king comes in at the perfect timing. Okay, the king doesn't seem like a total douche, at least, if he acknowledges that these two are being a bit too gung-ho, but hey, we'll see. Eternal children, word of your deeds has spread throughout Valencia. We thank you for your efforts, droned the braided king with a heavy nod. It's a pity to meet you in such conditions. All I can do is beg you to understand our perspective. You told the king you wished to stop the march and stressed the importance of peace between the Valencia Federation and the Toronto Empire. Up until a few days ago, I would have agreed with you, he knit his brows. However, the entire British kingdom aches for this war to prove its honor. I pledge that my troops will not slaughter civilians. All Toronto citizens who surrender will be protected. Those soldiers who violate my orders will be punished. That's all I can do. But why? May I beg for your pardon, eternal children? I must rectify the leadership style of my two commanders. It's best if you don't see this. Oh, but I want to. The king sighed and turned to his two children, suddenly a scolding father rather than a royal. You're still confused about our motives. Speak with the people in the camp. You'll come to understand our point of view rather quickly, I believe. With a flick of his wrist, he motioned for you to leave. Suddenly, you realized you had no idea why the Braider Kingdom so desperately wanted to invade their neighbors. You need to investigate at the camp. Really, it's almost as if I stated, like, asking that would be the first thing you should do. But hey, it do be what it do be. Yeah, I'm shocked. We are already up to the end of the first quest line, and we have not killed a single monster. That is a rarity. Okay. Ah, eternal children. Greetings. Ballo grinned, a few of his teeth black with decay. We're so glad you're here. With your help, the Braider army will easily triumph over our foes. You realize the Braider soldiers did not know you were there to stop the war. Perhaps you could use the opportunity to get more information. The reason for the march? It's all because of the blasted Toronto Empire. Bello suddenly turned bright red with fury. I can't believe what they did to our king. Everyone in the country supports the march against the Toronto Empire. Don't play us the fools again. What, did they cuck the king or something? It's a matter of honor. A true British citizen will gladly fight to preserve our country's good name. Our officer told us not to discuss the reasons behind the march. I remember that, Eloise said gruffly. Look inside yourself. I'm sure you already know that the king was cucked. He turned away. It was clear you wouldn't get any more information out of him. There had to be a reason the king didn't want his motives disclosed. I can't blame him for not wanting him to know the whole continent that he was cocked. He decided to continue asking people on the camp. Okay. You're a smart kid. If you want the best leather in town, you know exactly where to get it. From me, my belts are the toughest, they will never give out, no matter how rotund your belly grows. I wonder if the king's in need of anything. I'd be happy to offer my services. I have some lovely leather accessories to appease his queen. Suddenly you realize the core of the problem was the breeder queen all along. Yep, he got cocked. It's so hot and dirty here. And boring, complained a beautiful young woman as she fanned herself. If it weren't for Regalo's wealthy family, I never would have married him. She tried to wipe the smudges of dirt from her dress to no avail. They could have bought me fine jewelry and dresses with all the money they spend on armor to protect his fat, soft belly. I could be out dancing, but no. I'm languishing in the heat while he's out in the battlefield making a fool of himself. He can hardly make his own sandwich. Why would he think he could fight? Someday a rich, handsome man will come save me from this living hell. Oh yes, I'm sure. I'm sure they will. I bet the queen feels the same way. She's so young and beautiful, but she's married to that flabby old king. Ew. Gross. She wrinkled her nose. Passers-by who overheard her words nervously quickened their pace, avoiding eye contact. I bet whoever took her is handsome, strong, and rich, probably 6 feet tall with icy blue eyes and washboard abs. Otherwise, she never would have left with him. And in the letter he left behind, he just flat out stated that he's from the Toronto Empire. Isn't that brave? Love conquers all, right? Holy shit, he really did get cocked. After collecting information from people in the camp, you realize that the Breda Kingdom started the war against Toronto because the Breda Queen got cucked by someone from the Toronto Empire, thus insulting the Breda Kingdom's dignity and honor. However, the Breda King wasn't willing to go around telling everyone that the reason behind the war was that he got cucked, as he didn't want people to know that he had been cucked. However, the whole thing still seemed fishy. You believed it was probably a conspiracy. Someone with ulterior motives was playing upon the poor relationship between the countries to keep the war going. Damn, it's almost like leaving a letter saying, hey, we did this crime, you can't catch us, ha ha ha, is an obvious fucking ploy, but unfortunately an entire kingdom of people can't realize that. If you could explain to the Toronto Empire situation to the Breda King and persuade the two nations to talk, perhaps the conflict could be resolved. Unlikely, because again, it's probably not even the Toronto Kingdom Empire at play here. Damn, that prince and princess just getting blasted by everyone. And Daddy, no. Daddy, yes. And of course, not a single explanation behind any of this. I just realized we've only got 2.5% XP. Eternal children, frankly, I think the time for conversations has passed. Columbia intoned. If the Toronto Empire wants a war, then a war they shall receive. You pointed out that your top priority should be to find the kidnapped royals, not rush headfirst into war. Eternal children, the kidnappers said in their letter that if we want the queen back, we'd have to break through the gates of Toronto Palace. Now they've taken the king too, Columbia barked. My father taught me that a true knight never backs away from a challenge. Nothing shall stand in my way, except your intelligence. Columbia refused to listen to reason. Fueled by pure hatred, he would not budge on his plan to attack the Toronto Empire. You, however, were doubtful. You felt that the king likely knew the sorceress. You also wondered why the sorceress's powers had never surfaced when you fought the Bane Prince together with the Toronto Empire. You felt helpless, but you had to keep trying to stop Columbia in his march to war. Don't say what in your area, Daddy. Columbia refused to listen to reason, fueled by pure hatred. Yep, we read that part. Cool. Did you notice that the Toronto Sorceress's power seemed very similar to Luches's powers? We might just have a traitor on our hands. Paisha, you must trust Luches. He's our brother, for goodness sakes, Columbia explained, throwing his hands up. Oh, all of a sudden you're best friends with him. Good to know. Be that as it may, we still need to know the source of that strange power. There must be a connection between the two of them, Paisha insisted. Fine, bring him here. In the meantime, we'll continue planning our ambush. We must take the Toronto Palace at any cost, Columbia ordered. I'll bring him here. Whether he's in one piece or not, well, that is yet to be seen. After talking to Luches, you truly didn't believe he had kidnapped the king. However, the power he used earlier was similar to the power of the Toronto Sorceress, and that seemed awfully suspicious. Though you had your doubts, you decided it was better for you to find Luches before Paisha's men tore him to pieces. You asked the soldier guarding the tent about Luches's location. Okay. Now, where are we off to? I just heard a loud noise in the main tent. What happened? Bello asked. You weren't sure how much to reveal, so you shrugged off the question. So everything's okay, Lucha seems concerned, and it's making the others quite nervous. He's the best swordsman in Brady Kingdom, you know, and brave to boot. I don't know why he's against this war. It seems rather cowardly, especially for such a courageous man, he said. You asked if he knew Luches's whereabouts. We went to the Union Pathway. He told me someone would come asking for him, and that I should tell that person to find him at the old place. Confusing, right? Okay. I'm assuming he means literally just here. What a surprise. Okay, so even the Eternal Children couldn't stop the march. Lucia smiled tentatively. If I'm right, a lot of things happened after I was driven out of the tent, right? He questioned, cocking his head. You were surprised by his demeanor and directly asked him if he was involved with kidnapping the Brady King. Kidnap the king? But that wasn't the plan. So, unsurprisingly, he knows something. Oh my god. Thank you, fam. Oh, and the NPC immediately disappeared, so we didn't actually get to see the text. Or get the new quest. Okay, he's back now, never mind. No worries, Zaka. Luchess nodded appreciatively. You told him Paisha sent soldiers to retrieve him. My sister knows no soldiers could take me down. If I resist arrest, she'll make me Brada's most wanted criminal. But if I let them bring me back to her, she'll imprison me. Neither of those things work for me. I'll have to escape. Feeding the soldiers some fake information might be helpful. He shrouded himself in a hood and prepared to leave. I'll be back soon. Meanwhile, could you help me destroy the cracked cores near the meteors? They're creating horrific monster rocks. It shouldn't be too difficult for a skilled warrior like you, though. Okay. Hell yeah, buddy. Hey, you saying you ain't, I ain't yours? Damn. Okay. So we finally get to do something apart from just... Okay, we have dinosaurs? That's cool. But yeah, we finally get to do something after all that talking to people. You prefer eyes? Let's see. Life, you want to translate for me in chat? Otherwise, I'll bring up a little lens. Let's see. French. How did you validate the quest at a standstill? I visited the Goa Mountain. I had to look to chest, but there is no point above his summer. I think you're ahead of me. I am not sure. Okay, well, hopefully he realizes I don't speak French. Okay. And these are the cracked cores, summoning all these monster rocks, apparently. We're destroying Stonehenge. Okay. And now, on the way back we go. Is he gonna load in? There he is. He just stood before you quietly, his arms folded across his chest, a hood lowered over his battle-scarred, brooding face. Looking at him, a feeling of loneliness and sorrow washed over you. You tried to rid yourself of the sadness, but the edgy anime weeaboo boy just permeated an aura of goth. How's it going, Eternal Children? You okay? He asked gruffly. Well, I've given my sister a pretty good runaround. They're probably still searching for me in the barrels at camp, he shrugged. You've noticed the damage those minis are doing, right? They're boring holes straight through the ground. They might just be another world underneath Eloise Plains. Monsters live in caves beneath our fate, it seems, and all these falling meteors have disturbed them. Monster rocks also fell into the cave. It's chaos in there right now. For the safety of Eloise Plains, something must be done. We have some time before the big ambush. My friend in the camp will try to slow down the preparation process. Lucius looked down at Bradicam. We still have to deal with those nasty beasts. There are true entrances to the cave. Maybe we can each take a side and get him to retreat back into the depths of the cave. If we manage that, we can get rid of the big ones. Be careful, Eternal Children. Who knows what lies within that cave? Monsters. I bet you monsters, maybe some form of lava, a meteor, and some rocks. Maybe some quote-unquote space plants from another continent too. Head into the depths of the meteor crater. Okay, is this the actual dungeon quest? Interesting. So we're doing a dungeon quest before we've even killed any overland monsters. Hell yeah, we're already 4% XP. This is going to be a longer cap, but we do have some XP boost to make it a little bit easier. Although I don't have any XP charms too, but hey, it is what it is. Okay. I'm assuming the quest will be inside. We'll do that later. Okay. Interesting. This is not what I was expecting. So, we've got at least 3 bosses. But the way this is set out, there's a lot of stuff further on that looks empty. I doubt all of that's going to be for the trial version. So maybe more bosses will spawn as we go along. But a few things. I love how we entered a cave and now under a sky. And honestly, I just love how open this is, all things considered. Okay, we're going to level some pets. So they're not going to do a whole lot for us right now. But we have a dragon, and they don't. Unless they do. And these based on Daddy Longlegs spiders, or the name is at least. Yeah, they're spread all around. I don't really know if it's worth going out of your way to kill these. We might swap to a different class real quick and just see how the CP is. Okay, like 0.025%. God damn. Many items. Yeah, this is it was worse. But unfortunately I've got like 3 rows of blueprints I can't do anything with. Because I have no extracts to craft them with, but that probably doesn't make any sense to you, Waka. Okay, well, this dungeon so far seems like it might be a little annoying to do for XP. Or at least that first room. Just because of how spread out it all is. But maybe it'll improve with the tighter sections here. Oh, I am liking this music a bit though. Let's turn that up. Some new enemy types. Wow, this is pretty. Like a crystal cave. Turn the music up even more. This is my vibe. And I guess this is the first boss. Probably might be a challenge in solo, especially since I'm overgeared, but hey. Luala. Okay. What have you got? Okay, well that's the trophy. Increases max HP, and below 50% HP you get plus 10% damage. And 5% chance to increase crit rate massively. That's pretty good, to be honest. Again, I'm pretty much crit capped anyway, so... let's see... Again, none of this matters on solo mode really, but it's good to see. Okay, well, I've got my physical stuff on, so let's go with Slash class. Good old Awakened Katana. And we'll do some Samu action. Okay. Wasn't too bad. I mean, a +4 level 65 weapon isn't gonna do a whole lot, but hey, here's what it is. Let's do some DK action. Just give it a sec to finish changing gear. Okay. Oh, that's the boss. Okay. Well, first, let me... get a different pet some XP. I'm gonna do Pierce Break. And this one will go down a lot faster with the Ranger, of course. But again, trophy. Regen trophy for you regen levels. Okay. That's a really good regen effect for the trophy combo. Okay, you can stun, lower defense. That's about it. Let's just round a few of these up now. These? No, they're fine. And you are Strike Break. Okay, your trophy. Oh wow, 7.5k attack trophy. That's pretty good. My current ones are 7.2k and 8.3k, so that might actually be an upgrade. Depending on whether you prefer the base 48 and or not, but yeah, it's pretty good. Set effects, plus 20% damage. What was accuracy? Yeah, that's fine. Just making sure there's no reflex on some of these. Oh no, a mysterious man. Mysterious man or mysterious men? man standing before you stared you down as a magical power filled the air around you. You couldn't tell if he was a friend or foe, so you decided you needed to get out as soon as possible. It was then that you discovered you couldn't move. As you struggled against the powers filling in the air, a strange smile materialized in the man's face. Even the eternal children cannot resist such power, the mysterious man grinned. Interesting. Very interesting indeed. Rumor has it eternal children always save the day and rescue the weak. This time, my friend, you'll only need to save yourself. Now that you're a bit weak, go ahead. I'll let you attack first. He snickered. What? No reaction? Oh, I forgot. You can't move. Well, I suppose you forfeit your turn. What is this, chess? Guess it's my time to shine. The mysterious man unsheathed a weapon and closed it on you. You were utterly helpless. You couldn't move a muscle. Luchess, save me. You're my only hope. Yeah, we get resistance to statuses after a short moment. I'm sorry, eternal children. I ordered Duran to do it, Luchess explained. Okay, so he ranks above him. We needed to teach you to fight against Everworld power. The stronger your mind, the less it will affect you. As you discovered, in a life and death situation, your will to live can overcome almost anything as long as you harness it. Our next enemy is quite skilled when it comes to this power, so we want to prepare you for the worst. Luchess, are you going to tell the Eternal Children everything? Duran asked carefully. There's no time. We need to stop the march first, Luchess said. We know who kidnapped the king. If we can find my father before the march begins, we can let everyone know the Toronto Empire is not behind this. But if that's so, then you're... Duran trailed off. We just have to do the best we can. I'll take care of it, but the war is a bigger priority right now, Luchess explained. Eternal children, we need to find my father, Luchess said curtly. Watchers are currently searching Eloise Plains. We don't believe the king was taken far. We ought to split up to cover more ground. If you find something, please report to Duran at Eloise Outpost. He'll wait there and compile our information. Let's get a move on. Every second counts. Okay. Take care, lad. Thanks for coming by. Okay. I guess that's the end of the dungeon, but I kind of want to see what's further along. Never mind, there is a giant rock slide in the way, but yeah, this doesn't seem like a very good dungeon to run for EXP or CXP. It's short, it's got few monsters. They probably give more XP individually in comparison to Rose or Vile, but just because of the pure amount of mobs in the other two dungeons, those probably just are a lot more worth your time. But hey, great music and pretty crystals. Hey, I mean, not bad. Okay, we're gonna go down there. These guys are all AFKing. I guess they're not all AFK. Good timing, eternal children. We believe we know the king's whereabouts, Duran whispered to you, conspiratorially. They say he's near Neverfell Forest, the southwest corner of Eloise Plains. That forest directly connects to Gowan Mountain, so we're guessing he's hidden in one of the nearby caves. The Watchers have narrowed their search. I suggest that you head to the area immediately. Here, take this. It can detect Everworld power, and it will help you find the Breeder King and his kidnapper, Duran explained, pressing a device into your palm. If you find the Breeder King first, use the utmost caution. Whoever took him is incredibly dangerous and possesses much greater Everworld power than I inflicted upon you. Regardless, Chess himself must ultimately resolve this, because he is the true protagonist. These devices shimmer when they detect Everworld power. Look, the device in your hand began to sparkle brilliantly. It has detected my Everworld power, so it shines quite brightly. If you were to take a few steps away, it would dim a bit. Be careful, eternal children. Okay. And this is the Gowan Mountain part that I believe our French friend was asking us about earlier. Oh, it's all misty, mysterious. Would that be another dungeon? Or will that lead to a new area? Ah, there's definitely another dungeon here. Okay, here we go. Ooh, some more funny music. could always just collapse the the tunnel that says it's the border, but hey. How could Colombia do something so stupid? Moaned Luchess. Probably because Colombia is stupid. How can an army that lacks supplies win a war? They're walking into a massacre. We have to do something. While Luchess considered the problem at hand, he began to analyze the situation, connecting the dots. The missing queen and kidnapped king, the furious prince and princess, the falling meteors and overworld power. It all had to connect somehow. It's almost as if Luchess, son of the king, sibling to the prince and princess, investigator of the meteors, and user of everworld power, is connected to it all. Somehow, someone out there was eager to lure the Breda army out of Eloise Plains. The Watchers were trying to prevent it. Everyone's motives seemed incredibly muddled, though, and Luchess wouldn't explain anything to you. Luchess sighed heavily, dark purple circles underscoring his tired eyes. I suppose you just have to trust him. Eternal children, we have to stop them again. Luchess's hand curled into a tight, resolute fist. No matter what, we must prevent the army from leaving Eloise Plains. Perhaps we can find Colombia and Paisha, the Valencia Union Tunnel. Head out, and I'll meet you there as soon as possible. Okay, back to where we met them. Let's go. Now we have to go back to the northern end. If we can find our way out of this forest. Yeah, the music of the mountain range of Eloise Plains and Meteor Crater is all really good so far. It's probably my favorite part of the current cap. Least favorite is definitely the buggy as shit quest tracking, but hey, it is what it is. Okay, back inside Miranda Route. Now, what's gonna happen? Columbia stared daggers at Luchess, his face turning several shades of violet and crimson. Paisha, standing to the side, wrinkled her nose with utter disgust. It seemed she didn't want to interfere with her brother. Luchess couldn't convince a snarky Columbia to stop the march. He wasn't interested in listening to his half-brother's furies. As Luchess stood before him, Columbia grew angrier and angrier. He feared conflict between the two might explode at any moment, though Columbia clearly didn't want to argue in front of his troops. While you expected Columbia to take action first, Luchess's words broke the deadlock. As he began to talk, the atmosphere in the tunnel changed. His brother and sister narrowed their eyes. You knew nothing good could come of the tension and anger that hung in the air like a thick fog. Damn, boy. If you're gonna miss him, why are you gonna try and kill him? Eternal children, I'm sorry about all of this. I wish my own brother hadn't made such an irreparable mistake, but tears welled in Columbia's eyes. He angrily wiped them away. The best thing I can do is allow him to die as a brave knight who violated military law, not a traitor to our country and our family. I beg of you, stay out of this. It's our problem to solve. You frantically tried to think of a way to stop them, but the family seemed hopelessly torn asunder. You shook your head. You weren't going to leave, especially not at this point. You were prepared for a fight. After you reacted, Columbia and Paisha folded their arms in front of their chest and glared at you. Eternal children, even you cannot intervene in our country's laws. As a citizen of Breda and a member of the royal family, Luchess must comply with our rules. He must be punished for his indiscretions, explained Columbia, pacing with his hands behind his back. You knew Columbia and Paisha had a point, but you also knew they were speaking total bullshit. But in your heart, you felt strongly that Luchess had good reason to do what he had done. If you won't see things our way, eternal children, we'll have to challenge you. We stand by our beliefs. We're gonna fight? Let's fucking fight. Oh shit, we are. Okay. Well, I'll call the sister first. Oh, okay. We can't go. This is a fixed battle. But hey, we're doing damage. Oh, we've got like 124k HP now. Okay, back to the pretty music mountain we go. Damn, Chess is, Ow. After a flash of light blinded you, you found yourself standing somewhere in Goen Mountain. Beside you, Chess lay on the ground, unconscious. Apparently, teleporting had used the last of his strength. Took a deep breath, ready for the next part of this epic journey. Luchess managed to stop the march using his incredible powers, but doing so drained his strength. His siblings immediately regarded him as a traitor. They were confused as to why he wouldn't just tell his brother insisted the truth. Doing so would clear the fog of anger and confusion, as well as his good name. As he pondered what the truth might be, Luchess regained consciousness. It's interesting how we still have over 100k HP. I wonder how that mechanic is working. Because right now, we don't have any quests accepted, but there's a status in our buff bar. So I'm guessing this is the quest boosting our HP. But what I want to know is if we keep that HP if we leave. No, we do not. Okay, so it's limited to that area. I bet you there's probably some way you could exploit that somehow knowing this game, so if anyone wants to, feel free to play around it. Let us know how you go. Shit, where'd you go? God damn it. Okay, it looks like leaving that zone and re-entering it doesn't count. So the instance zone we were in is separate from entering the area normally, and it looks like they didn't consider someone leaving and re-entering, so we're probably going to have to go back and redo that little sequence. Let's see how long that takes. Hopefully it actually lets us. Well, we don't have the quest anymore. We do still have the status, so maybe that's a way to fix that. Okay. Oh yeah, we'll have to look at the new achievements as well. Cloth armor defense increases 5%. All abilities improved by 2%. Oh wow, there's orange and gold ones now. I heard about that too. But that's only for level 68 to 80 gold armor. I wonder if they are going to go back and introduce the same achievements for gold weapons at earlier levels. Hit value increased by 2%. Do they mean accuracy? Attain all armor crafting achievements. Permanently increases max HP by 8% and reduces all damage taken by 3%. That is incredibly broken. And then the new weapon achievements. Critical hit damage increased by 1%. And a further 5% increase to P attack and attack. Well, that's balanced. And then do all the one-handed weapons. Critical hit value, P crit, M crit, and critical hit damage increased by 5%, and all resistances on top of that. And that happens twice. So you get +5 resistance from one-handed crafting, as well as +5 resistance from two-handed crafting. So +10 resistance to everything. That is unbalanced as shit. Yeah, I got a new mic buddy. It's sounding a lot smoother, isn't it? Unfortunately, however, I may have broken the game. So I'm not sure if we can keep doing the main storyline quest, which is hilarious. So I'll run around a little bit. But I might have to try to remove that status and see if that fixes anything. I can change channels. Let me see. Because the, okay, let's see if that works. But yeah, do you have any thoughts on the +10 to all resistances permanently and passively from the new achievements? Because I think that's game breaking, personally. Okay, I'll see if I can go in again. Are they still here? They are not. Will that re-trigger the event? It will. Okay, cool. So now we just wait here for it to teleport us back. Yeah. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate you. But yeah, that is insanely busted. Oh, cool. And we didn't have to redo it all. It's given us some leeway. Perfect. He does need that. Let me just check that. Yeah, G is gold, I think. Okay. So, eternal children. I thought I was a dead man. We just managed to smile. I never expected you to interfere. You just bought yourself a heap of trouble. Oh, I always have trouble. I wanted you to lead the Watchers in my stead to resolve the issue, but that won't happen now. We can't stop here. We must find Duran immediately. I think they should already have information about the king's whereabouts. Lucius attempted to stand, but his knees buckled and he collapsed to the floor. He chuckled dryly. It will take some time for my body to recover. Please, eternal children, go ahead and I'll catch up. He nodded in agreement. Yeah, I think it's the first achievement that boosts accuracy. And it might be the same for all stats and resistances as well. If they keep doing that, then it's gonna get more and more pay to win, because I don't think free-to-play players are gonna be able to keep up with the amount of resources you need to create the gold weapons, and permanent +10 resistances to everything That is just way, way too broken. Okay, but it looks like we are moving on to the next dungeon. But it's good to see that we can keep going with all the quests without having to level to 76 to complete this zone. At least that's how it feels so far. Because, again, we aren't even 10% through a level yet. Yeah, for sure. Like, I've still got 4 rows, or 3 rows now of gold blueprints from like level 50 to 70. I haven't finished like a second tier of level. Second boss in Dark Cave has a nice trophy set. Yeah, I mean, the second boss in the first dungeon had a really good M attack trophy as well. It procs more M attack than Eloise. Okay. Okay, another short-looking dungeon, 3 bosses. Let's see how we do. Hi, Duran. Duran. Who goes there? Explained Duran frantically. He relaxed when he saw you. Ah, it's the eternal children. You really scared me there. He glanced around anxiously. Where's Luchess? Shouldn't he be here too? Is he? Okay. Oh, please don't tell me. He's critical to our plans. We need him. Tell me he's safe. I think this song is reused from an early point of the game, but I don't remember where. Really? Things have gone too far. At least you two are safe. Chess is exhausted, but he should recover just fine. Unfortunately, we don't exactly have all the time in the world to rescue the king. Duran pointed at the gaping cave behind you. The king is being held in the depths of this cave. Whoever kidnapped him likely booby-trapped that thing to the nines. You can count on it. Duran scratched his head a moment, thinking. Luchess was supposed to take care of it, but now you're going to have to step up. You're the only one who can. We'll enter the cave with you. If we encounter resistance, we'll take care of it. You just keep moving forward and find the king. Duran cracked his knuckles. No matter what happens, don't slow down for us. We'll take care of ourselves. You can help us the most by finding and taking out the sinister mastermind behind this scheme. Let's go, Eternal Children. Together, we can't lose. Yeah, a lot of the new trophies have that same set effect. Is there a specification on the cooldown of it, or...? Okay, these monsters look like they'll respawn infinitely, so we just leave those. Okay. Well, let's get to it. Okay. Better looking mob density here, so far at least. I do like this song. But again, pretty sure it's reused. Okay, what's down here, if anything? More monsters. Or bombs, rather. Ah, there's 2 paths, okay. Yeah, this looks like it'll be better for XP than Meteor, at least. Okay, a lot of random stuff down there. Oh, that's a boss. Okay. And that is as well. Oh, we got hedgehogs. Okay, that's P. That is different. It only has 2 breaks for some reason. Oh. Okay. Let's just spin out these mobs quick. We'll do the other one first. Solaris. So his heart, all stats, plus defense. Okay, so that looks like the second part of the healing trophy. Okay. Doesn't look like there's any annoying CC or anything, good to know. Now, let's kill it. Shock. And now we do the same here. Golden ring, crit. Yeah, that's the one Diddles mentioned. If you have trouble hitting the crit caps, that'll be a good trophy for you there. Okay, he's got a heal. Good to know. Not that it matters. Okay, one left. Okay, that was very short. We're already at the end. I guess they made shorter dungeons to maybe give more dungeons. Reverse scale, increases attack. Okay, that should be fine. It just gets a shit ton of defense. It'll probably be easier to do magic on this boss, but again, this is single player, so it doesn't really matter. Okay, that's it. Oh, the queen is here. Okay. This blasted Toronto soldiers, they kidnapped me from my own castle. It's a direct violation of our peace agreement. A direct violation. They've kidnapped the king too, she wailed, the back of her hand to her forehead. You quickly realized she was the queen. Are you here to rescue us? She asked, her hands badly shaking. You nodded, trying to reassure her. Explain to the queen that you were the eternal children, and you had come to rescue the king as well. Eternal children? Thank goodness. If anyone can save us, it's you. She closed her eyes for a moment as relief washed over her. I thought perhaps we could escape together and find help, but since you're the eternal children, you can likely handle the Toronto soldiers without reinforcements, she said, clasping your hand eagerly. Hurry up, follow me. I escaped while the guard was distracted, but the king wasn't so lucky. The queen explained in a hushed tone. Fear for the queen might get hurt in the craggy, beast-infested cave. You asked her to flee, promising you would rescue the king. She frowned and shook her head. You want me to abandon my king and run away? I couldn't do that, she exclaimed. Something seemed a little off about her reaction, but you couldn't quite put your finger on it. Just follow me, eternal children. The king's life is in danger. We can't afford to waste any more time. Well, she is in with whoever took her, so... there's more. Okay. Damn, she's, zooming. I mean, that's fine with me. A lot of cobwebs down here. We're gonna find a spider. The path is surprisingly clear. How suspicious. Whoever could have foreseen a trap? You fooled us, Queen. Okay. There's something else going on here. Damn, she wants the king, apparently. Huh, looks like it was the queen getting cooked. Damn, that's 15 minutes done. Special beam cannon. Oh, the chess. Perfect timing. You recovered quickly. Mother, it's me. Now it makes sense. This is why he's the illegitimate child. He came from the crazy babe. She's been mentally trapped in a corner. It's time for her to let loose. Okay, so similar to Devastation Realm, it looks like Durando Kingdom's like some part of another world or something. Yeah. Everyone's getting cooked in this story. This bitch is going crazy. Okay, well, she tapped too much power, I guess. I'm guessing the Durango Kingdom comes from the place that the Everworld power comes from. And I'm guessing using that power gets you controlled. Oh, for sure. Dina laid upon the ground, pain etched on her face. Yes, everyone from the Everworld were under that man's control, she managed weakly. I can't remember exactly when this started happening, when we lost our minds and became his puppets. All of the terrible things I've done. Dina burst into tears. Suddenly, her body began to disintegrate before your eyes. Oh shit, she's dead. She's dead? It's all my fault. Dina, I should have never let you go. King Molman shouted, thick tears running down his cheeks. Lucius, to prevent the floating island from falling, you must destroy the magic formation and stabilize the light column on the island. Go find the winged horse. Oh, I have one of those. The horse will take you to the floating island, Dina whispered hoarsely. Lucius nodded sadly. Norman, I'm so sorry for what my people did to Elenia. To all of you. I'm so sorry. Dina's body was almost gone now. She was gradually disappearing into thin air. I miss Dina Lee every single moment we spent together, Norman. I sacrificed everything to undo my wrongs. She looked up at the king. Tears tricked down his face, but he didn't bother to wipe them away. Please fix the mess we made. I'm so sorry. Let's see. Also, why the fuck don't we have the Qatar Zestus Loose has? You mean like the weapons he has equipped? Like the, is that like, the blade coming from the gauntlet rather than one he's, holding in his hand? Because those are pretty cool. Like the Assassin's Creed, blades. But yeah, not to ruin the moment, but every time I see or say Molman, I just think of, Hans Molman from The Simpsons. Yeah, bladed gauntlets are doped. One of the characters in one of my D&D campaigns is playing a monk, and he's commissioned a pair of spiked gauntlets that do piercing damage with one hand, slashing damage with the other, and then his bare fist bludgeoning damage. So he's got a good trio of physical power. King Molman whispered something to Dina as she gradually disappeared. Luchess looked away silently, his hands trembling. Dina's story revealed the truth. The whole event was planned by barbarians. Of course, it was the barbarians all along. Luchess, as a half-barbarian, was obviously nervous about divulging this. His siblings already didn't trust him. Exposing such a secret would make him an even bigger target. The barbarians planned to make the island floating in the Everworld fall directly upon the capital of the Brady Kingdom, Hayward Seavale. Such an incident would cause massive casualties and chaos. According to Dina, someone with sinister plans was manipulating the barbarians, bending them to his will and forcing them to carry out his demands. As you spoke, Dina's body faded into a mere whisper of color on the air. Yeah, he's probably grinding with the XP boost. I'm gonna be taking my time this cap, to be honest, since I plan on retiring at the end of January, roughly, during 80 cap. I'm just gonna enjoy the story. I'm probably not even gonna try to max all the classes. Next quest time, okay. Maybe I should pay attention with how much you're going on about this quest. Sorry you have to live on. Well, Dina's body disintegrated to dust. The king stood with tears. Yes, you worked hard to hide the barbarian tribesman's identity. You took much of the blame and continued helping the Brady Kingdom. I should have known. But father, I failed. I was arrogant to think I could stop them alone. I couldn't even save my own mama. There's no time to deal with the guild right now. Luchess, you must tell me everything you know. Is the situation as grave as I fear it is? Yes, father. According to Mother, the floating continent has already passed from the outer dimensions into this world. We thought we'd have more time. Recently, the barbarians tried to lure the Braider army from Hayward Seavale. They disguised themselves as Toronto soldiers. So all the Toronto soldiers we've been seeing were Luchess's mother's people. The meteor is a small-scale island that passed through the space-time continuum, lost momentum, and fell. Okay, so that probably fell from the continent that they're referring to. I must now bring the army back to Hayward Seavale. The barbarians must enact the casting formation in order to land the floating continent. We must stop their formation. Go. I'll mobilize the army. I want you to lead your group and find a way to get onto the floating continent as quickly as possible. Yes, father. Eternal Guardian, if it weren't for your help, Braider Kingdom would be dust by now. Please continue assisting us. I fear we can't succeed without you. Okay. This is the quest that is slowing everyone down. The next one. Eternal Children, please join us in destroying the magic formation the barbarians cast upon Hayward Seavale, King Molman said suddenly. Nodded. Okay. The sounds of fighting gradually faded. Luchess explained that the rest of the Watchers were just like him. Half human, half barbarian. So they're treating his mother's people as a different race. In deciding to help the Braider Kingdom, they betrayed one of their parents. However, they had made their choice. As you looked upon the grief etched in Lucius's face, you wondered if all of the Watchers were suffering as well. After you rescued the Braider King, you finally learned the reasons behind the events of the past few days. The situation was quickly growing out of control. According to Duna, Hayward Seaval would soon be smashed to bits by the falling continent. Fortunately, the troops were still within the border of the Braider Kingdom. The Braider King immediately ordered the soldiers to return to Hayward Seaval to evacuate civilians. You are in much too deep to abandon these people now. You headed to Hayward Seaval to try to save the Braider Kingdom from impending disaster. Okay, interesting. So the next map is Hayward Seaval. So does that mean the entire next map is going to be like a city? Because that's pretty interesting. Okay, next up. Oh. Next quest time. I see what you mean, and I understand why this is slowing people down. Hey, thanks for the follow, buddy. I appreciate you. Okay, well, I guess this is where the grind begins. Well, that was interesting. It looks like we've pretty much finished the Eloise Plains area without killing a single monster. Hey, Kadir. Thanks for coming by. Okay. Well, I guess it's back to Rose Temple, huh? Let me clear my inventory a bit. Actually, no, we still have the book quest we can do. Okay, that's Arcane Box. Oh, it's like -4 here today. We've finally been getting our first snow of the year, heading into winter. So my hands are a little chilly. It's gonna be months before we can craft that. I'll hold on to those now, I guess. Yeah, we got a 10% XP from the entirety of the zone, excluding the book quests. So I'm hoping the books will give us a little more XP, because in some areas like Gemsis, they give an insane amount of XP. You're currently phase tanking 5 mobs in Eloise. Well, yeah, I ran into Signy earlier. Okay, now let me dismantle these. But yeah, apparently the book quests don't give good XP either, unfortunately. Which is what it is. Ah, that's right. I think I read in the patch notes you can actually batch dismantle stuff now. So once we get to grinding some dungeons later on, maybe we can look into that. Ah, I must have missed you, Diddles. I was on channel 1 earlier. But hey, let me offload some stuff I don't want for you. You can take this. Unless someone else wants them. Then they can annoy Diddles, because he has them now. Hello, friend. Let me set that to an alt. I might use that at some point, who knows. Okay. Now let's look at the quest. Army Horrors. Every new recruit to the Breda camp received a warning. Never go out alone at night, to patrol or otherwise. No one took the warning seriously until soldiers started disappearing. The vanished teenager. There was once a new recruit named Eloise who used his intellect, ambition, and strong work ethic to climb the ranks. It wasn't long before he started working directly under the general. His last promotion, however, drew jealousy out of the other soldiers. They started targeting him for attacks and spreading rumors that he cheated to get his rank. Oliver shrugged it all off at first, but eventually it got to be too much. He had to fight back. This decision, however, proved to be a grave mistake. A few nights after his disappearance, guards began to report seeing Oliver aimlessly wandering camp like a ghost. He never answered their calls. These sightings contradicted the hunters' reports of finding remnants of a soldier outside of camp. The area where mudblade mutant pigs and toxin spike mutant pigs roamed had been strewn with blood, the tattered remains of Oliphus's uniform and his necklace resting on the grass. There could be only one conclusion. The camp was haunted. Okay. You know what we might do before we go on with the book quest? I'm just gonna have a quick look at the altar because I haven't looked at it yet. So we've got elf ears. Let's see what those look like. Okay, well, those are prominent. Trench coat. Okay, that's like a whole kind of Sherlock Detective Times coat. We got some pets. Okay, don't look like anything too special, I think. Okay, a legendary version of what I already have. Okay, showing off some thighs. Is that a... Yeah, that's getting to some Christmas cosmetics just about. And okay, that's about it. You just got some cards outside of that. The real altar, costume refining scroll. So more of these refinement scrolls for face and special slots. We got some more lunar rocks. Hopefully I can get my hands on a strength and luck one. Oh, I like the look at that too. It's pretty. Okay, legendary drakes. These are M-Attack and P-Attack pets. Okay. If you want a pet prayer, you're probably going to want these ones. Plus crit and plus attack. Godly Swift Feet, I think that's like evasion. I think it was. I'm not sure what Sincere Faith is. Oh, and this one has Reaper's Dice and Fighting Spirit. Those are very good abilities and very good prayers on that physical Drake. And the magic one has an AoE attack. Along with, yeah. Perfect Gear stats inheritance scrolls for the whales. Clothing enchant, acceleration 2, attack speed plus 250, cast speed plus 250, move speed plus 4%. Holy shit. Getting more and more pay to win. Sold to Miles. Yeah, 70k too rich. That sounds about right. Damn. Well, that's crazy. There's no titles or anything to roll by the looks of it, this altar. Yeah, that's some pretty strong stuff on there. Ghost horns, if you want to be an anime redhead girl. Yeah, the white down the back looks cool. Yeah. Okay, let's go hunt some pigs. Duncy's about to get paid. Ah. He got Sydney's wig she wants. Yeah, that does seem like a thing she would like. Assuming the pigs will be at the northern end of the area. From the altar box. Ah, okay, so that's a different one to our ghost horns. Ah, I see, I see. Okay, yeah, that does fit with a current character aesthetic a little more. Hey, it's not for me, but power to her. Okay. Now, where are these pigs? They're over here. Alright, these porcupines. Okay. Shortly before Eloise disappeared, he had become nervous and withdrawn, talking to no one and spending all of his time in his tent. When he did emerge, he was always in a trance-like state. Such behavior made him the target of ruthless, relentless teasing. The night of his disappearance, fellow soldiers taunted him as he was leaving from visiting the general. Unable to withstand the taunts any longer, Eloise fled the camp in rage and grief. The soldiers followed him. A fight erupted outside the camp. Though Eloise defended himself valiantly, he was sorely outnumbered. It was not long before he was overtaken. Chapter 2. Tension crippled the camp, due in large part by this discovery of a dead body, that of Eloise's former roommate, Fane. His chest had been smashed in and hollowed out. The stricken look frozen on Fane's face, and his injured hands indicated that he had died in a struggle. What kind of pressure could crush a man's chest like that? Fane had gotten along with everyone at the camp. He was not the type to make enemies. Who would have killed him so brutally, and why? The news of Fane's death spooked a few of his friends. They claimed that he had been complaining about a lack of sleep due to terrifying dreams of being pursued by giant monsters. The officers dismissed the clue as nonsense. Such monsters could never enter the camp without anyone noticing. This, however, did not ease the minds of the frightened soldiers. Okay, now the monster rocks are on the other side. Okay. I do like the dinos. The dark of night shrouded Fane as he ran, struggling to escape from someone or something. He would occasionally look back, wide eyes bright against the darkness, the sounds of his heavy breathing occasionally interrupted by maddened laughter behind him. Fane stumbled, staggered, the lumbering shadow behind him gaining ground. Too exhausted to take another step, Fane collapsed to his knees, the lumbering shadow shifting as though raising its arms to strike. Oliphus, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. Please forgive me. No! Fane gasped, begging with his remaining strength for mercy. The strange laughter stopped, replaced by an ominous voice. Why should I forgive you when you didn't forgive me? Suddenly, a faint fluorescence chased away the heavy darkness. Fane's eyes flew open. He was in his tent, safe in bed, except the very same monster of his dreams now loomed over him. His body lurched instinctually, wanting to scramble to safety, but he found himself unable to move, frozen in place by some invisible force. The monster slowly lifted its heavy arm, resting its hand against Fane's chest. Beside it, the vague shape of a person appeared. Oliphus, Fane whispered, his fear-stricken mind reeling to say something, anything that would save him from this situation. Instead, Oliphus pressed a hand against Fane's mouth, rendering him speechless. Oliphus leaned forward, a wicked grin stretched across his face as his eyes glittered with maddened excitement. His lips moved, whispering something that Fane, in his terror, could not manage to hear. Then Oliphus leaned back, waving his hand in a commanding gesture. Fane began to writhe in pain, grasping desperately at the monster's arm as it pushed against his chest. As Fane struggled, Oliphus faded away. A shrill cry pierced the night. The whole camp suddenly active with startled soldiers stumbling out of their tents to find the source of the noise. A man hung from a tree, blood dripping from his body and a puddle beneath his dangling feet. A stone spike was seen protruding from his chest. This man was identified as the general's estranged son. He had been exiled from the camp some time ago. A rune shimmered in the air, looking precisely like the rune etched on Oliphus's necklace. With such a close connection to the general, the officers finally began to investigate the matter seriously. Okay. Now we need to find the beast, which are right here. That was easy enough. Oh, the raw meat slices. What does this remind you of, Diddles, if you're still here? The youth sleeping in his tent looked so peaceful, oblivious to Oliphus standing to the side to glare down at him with cold, murderous intent. A spell slowly slept into the room, surrounding the young soldier, rendering him unable to move. Without worry, Oliphus used his power to move the soldier out of bed and out of the tent. It seemed that the guards in the area could not see them. They drifted into the trees outside of camp before the young man finally woke up, startled and dazed. A chilling laugh rippled from Oliphus's chest. Oliphus, the young man stammered, his confused mind still struggling with the last snatches of interrupted sleep. But you're already dead. How? Oliphus said not a word, but his maddened gaze said everything. Suddenly, thick vines slipped from the tree branches as the young man flailed in an effort to get to his feet, one of them snaring his wrist. With a frightened gasp, he tried to shake loose, only to have more vines fall over him, twisting around him. Olivis laughed as the young man was hoisted into the air, vines tightening around his neck to strangle out of him his last breaths. Olivis eventually disappeared, but his laughter lingered. Oops, I skipped one bit. Taking immediate action, Prosecutor Parkinson requested a meeting with the general while he sent his team to collect evidence. During the meeting, the prosecutor learned that whenever the first murder victim was mentioned, the general's stoic facial expression would slightly falter. Just before turning to leave, Prosecutor Parkinson noticed the man in his dream standing right behind the general. Before he could react, however, the man disappeared. Parkinson decided to keep this information to himself. There had to be some connection between the general and the mysterious murders. As Parkinson settled to bed that night, a loud commotion outside distracted him. Bursting from his tent, he rushed to the scene of the action, an armed soldier struggling desperately to climb over the camp's fence. No amount of verbal reasoning registered to this young man, his mind knowing nothing but terror. Finally, several soldiers had to pin him to the ground to subdue him. Once the soldier calmed down, everyone left for bed except for the prosecutor. Once he was the only one left at the scene, the same runic letters he saw in his dream appeared before him, the glare of their glow bright against the night before the markings vanished with the breeze. Okay. Plenty of fanged ramwings, but where are the tipper birds? Further to the south? Or back that way? Ah, there they are. The next day, Parkinson and his team gathered around the evidence they had collected. Remnants of the dead soldiers and a copy of the runes drawn on a piece of paper. After hours of careful scrutiny, they were no closer to a solution. Parkinson decided to question the soldier who had panicked in the night. At first, the young man insisted that he didn't know anything, claiming that his panic was a result of sleepwalking, until Parkinson unfolded the note with the ruins in front of him. "You're called Private Irving, right? Have you seen these runic letters before?" Before the prosecutor had a chance to gauge the man's reaction, a member of his team burst into the scene with some urgent news. Someone had hung themselves. With the parchment clutched tightly in his fist, Parkinson aborted his interrogation to investigate the matter. Parkinson arrived at the scene quickly, analyzing the surroundings. On a table was a note. "If I'm going to die, it will be by my own hand, not by the brutal ways you killed my friends." Once the prosecutor had left, Irving fell into nervous twitching. With his entire body shaking, he whispered words of apology, repeating them over and over. Suddenly, Olivis appeared, murmuring a few words into Irving's ear before disappearing. At once, Irving rushed out, crazily screaming for the prosecutor. Nearby soldiers restrained him, one of them hurrying off to find the professor. "I assume they mean prosecutor." Prosecutor Parkinson arrived on the scene at once, starting again his interrogation with the young soldier. Irving confessed to his part in killing Olivis, the victims also involved with the murder. He revealed where Oliver's body could be found. Irving's confession turned out to be accurate. They found remnants of Oliver's body buried with a diary that detailed disturbing events between the general and some of the soldiers. The diary revealed how the general beat his soldiers over trivial matters in order to maintain his control over them. After a heavy trial, he was found guilty of his mistreatment, sufficiently punished. Irving never recovered from how Oliver's had haunted him. He went mad over the ordeal. Despite the enactment of justice, Oliver's never left the camp. Some nights, one could almost see the ruins of his necklace shimmering in the shadows, but no one else had been mysteriously killed again. One book to go. And this one is shorter. Oh, the travesty! A traveling merchant Vidic was plagued by something troubling. A beautiful girl was obsessed with him. What's wrong with that, you said? Well, if you're the only one that could see, hear, and touch this girl like he could, you may see the problem, unless you're into that kind of thing. It all started when Vidic visited Hayward Seavale to conduct business. Early one morning, Vidic and his associates entered Hayward Seavale with the intent of selling their wares. Before they began, Vidic took a look around the market they would be selling at, and a very special necklace on the ground caught his eye. Suspecting it could be quite valuable, he picked it up, hurrying to get it appraised. On the way, he walked by a girl sitting on the sidewalk. Dull, listless eyes watched pedestrians pass her by without a care, her tattered clothing hanging from her too thin frame. Later on that evening, he passed by the same girl again, the exact same spot, in the exact same position. This time, however, his gaze caught hers. He looked away to avoid her gaze. The girl, however, shakily rose to her feet, watching Vidic until he turned a corner out of sight. Vidic tore through the streets and into the fields before he finally stopped at an abandoned farmhouse to catch his breath. No matter how much distance he had placed between himself and the girl, he could not escape her gaze from his mind. That same girl suddenly appeared beside him, also breathless from running. "Why are you chasing me?" Vidic gasped, alarmed, before he broke into a fit of coughs. "I forgot how easily people scare," the girl replied back in a soft voice. "You're not a person at all," Vidic fired back. "You're a parasite, expecting to get a handout from hard-working folk. Why are you following me? I've done nothing to indicate that you should do such a thing." As Vidic spoke, his voice rose. "I ran all the way back here. When I return, my merchandise will probably be gone, all because of you." "Don't be so loud," the girl complained, seemingly unfazed by Vidic's insulting rant. She pointed behind them to the female gunners and fraudulent artisans sweeping around to surround them. Fearing being mugged, beaten, or killed, Vidic fell to his knees in despair. Remarkably, as Vidic fell to his knees, so did the gunners and artisans, all of them killed by some invisible, powerful force. Knowing he was not capable of such a thing, Vidic could only assume that the strange girl beside him had something to do with it. "All is lost. All is lost," he kept muttering to himself while he searched the pockets of the dead, stuffing anything unusual into his merchant's bag. The girl shook her head behind him. "I didn't think anyone would be crass enough to steal from the dead," she commented. "The bodies are still warm. Aren't you afraid of retribution? And how could any of those things be worth taking? The girl watched as Vidic shoveled more unusual objects into his bag. I bet their spirits are watching you now, she teased. You're the one that killed them all, Vidic grumbled back. I'm not taking their cash or anything like that. These people were carrying artifacts that could be worth a lot more for many collectors. This necklace, for instance. We know how Eden Eternal players love their necklaces. I could sell it right away. Vidic paused to examine the necklace he had found that morning. Don't compare that junk to this necklace, the girl snapped, suddenly angrily. That was my mother's, she gasped, suddenly clutching her head with both hands as she doubled over in pain. What's wrong? Vidic asked, suddenly anxious. The moment he shifted to come to her aid, she disappeared. Chapter 2. Vidic sat alone in the woods, his only company the campfire in front of him. He gazed into the flickering flames, clutching the pendant, deep in thought. A white form shimmered beside him, taking form of a human girl. Vidic was alarmed by this, he did not show it. Man and ghost stared in silence at the campfire together. Finally, the girl was the first to speak. I remember, she whispered. Vidic remained silent, his gaze shifting to the necklace in his hand. Frustrated, the girl turned to Vidic. Don't you want to know more about me? She demanded. There came a sudden loud crash in the woods behind them, followed by the heavy, ragged breathing of monsters. Algae cores and scarlet rampage beasts suddenly burst into the clearing towards them. The girl shimmered in brilliant blue light, runic letters swirling around her. A strong force, like a gust of wind, exploded from her, knocking all of the monsters back. Instinctually, Vidic scrambled behind the log he had been sitting on, gawking at her with astonishment. Apparently, mutant flowers are called rampaging beasts. Peace settled upon the forest again. Vidic got to work relighting the campfire. Once again, ghost and man sat and stared at the flames together. That's the second time you saved my life, Vidic remarked as he gazed at the girl admiringly. You are quite formidable. The girl beamed, clearly pleased by his compliments. What I don't understand is how someone like you managed to die on the street. The girl's beaming grin instantly faltered. It's not like I had these powers when I was alive, she grumbled. I didn't even know I had them at all until I saved you that first time, by the farmhouse. I'm having a hard enough time trying to remember who I was before I died. All I can remember so far is that I lived together with my father and brother. All I remember of my mother was that she left me that necklace you have. Vidic looked at the pendant. Do you think your mother's still alive? The girl, Mia, laughed hollowly. I've been dead for many, many years. I doubt she is still alive. I don't mean dead, more like vanished. It's hard to explain. I once read a few ancient scrolls about this sort of thing. The pages were etched in runic letters, like what you used, like what's on this pendant. Vidic dangled the necklace in front of Mia. If my research is accurate, this necklace comes from the Durango Kingdom, which claims to be a series of islands floating in the sky. Supposedly these islands disappeared long ago. No one knows how or why. Final chapter. White smoke rose from the dying flames later in the night as Mia gazed at the moon with her arms clasped around her knees. Her wide eyes shone brightly as memories returned to her, flooding her mind. After my father died, she murmured quietly, my brother entered the army in order to provide for us. We would exchange letters, but he was stationed far away, so it always took some time to communicate. If only. Tears brimmed her eyes, catching the light of the moon before she lowered her head to cry. Vidic, who was resting on the ground beside her, suppressed a sigh. I don't know if ghosts sleep, he murmured, trying his best not to show annoyance at being kept awake by her crying. But try to rest however you can. He gestured for her to rest beside him. Mia complied, though as soon as she did, Vidic began to shiver. It's cold, he muttered, curling up on his side and rubbing his arms with his hands. Mia, knowing that the chill was from her, erupted with emotion. I can't help it, she wailed. I'm dead. A forlorn cry from somewhere in the forest seemed to answer her call. Startled, Mia rose to her feet to walk towards the direction of the call. Vidic lurched to a sitting position, watching with bewilderment as she moved, surrounded by blue light. Smothering a curse, he rose to his feet to follow her. Mia's brisk walking quickly evolved into a sprint. It was all Vidic could do to keep up. After somehow passing through a habitat of indigo fury lizards in one piece, they finally stopped at a clearing enchanted with mystic totems. What was it about this girl that forced Vidic to run so much? Breathless, he was grateful when she stopped, stooping over to catch his breath. I thought I heard my brother's voice, Mia remarked, whirling around as though trying to spot someone. I don't understand. Why is no one here? She stared at Vidic helplessly. Your brother isn't here, Vidic snapped, annoyed to have run all this way for nothing. We have to go back, now. Once again, you made me abandon my things. No, Mia shot back, suddenly angry. I know my brother is here. I can feel it. I'm not going anywhere until I find him. Suit yourself, Vidic snapped. I'll go back on my own. In a panic, Mia reached out to him, pleading with her eyes for him to stay. At once, a strong gust of wind swept around them, bringing with it a strange black mist. Mia stepped away from Vidic, glowing a bright blue, this light chasing this mist back into the shadows. A young man stepped from the shadows, his appearance resembling Mia's. The same necklace dangled from his neck. When Vidic removed his necklace from his pocket, it and the young man's necklace shone together. With wide eyes, Vidic glanced at Mia, who had already burst into tears. When the young man opened his arms, she rushed to embrace him. Vidic never imagined he would see such joy from such a tragic situation. As the siblings shared words and tears, their forms began to fade into silvery moonlight. Mia, knowing her time was at an end, drifted to Vidic, hugging him as best she could in her ethereal form. Thank you, she whispered before kissing his cheek. Gazing at him gratefully, she and her brother faded into the moonlight. Vidic gingerly touched the chilled spot on his cheek where Mia had kissed him. Smiling, he raised the necklace into the moonlight. Farewell, he murmured before fastening the necklace around his neck. He always knew that necklace was worth something. And that is the end of that. All of the zone quest, along with the book quests, only get you 13.5% XP. Well, what I'm going to do now is kill all of the rare mobs. within this area. Starting from the top. Just to get the achievements out of the way. Tell you what though, if achievements gain some form of XP, it could really help to alleviate some of the harshness of the current grinds. Then maybe more people would be motivated to do them too. Oh damn, these crystals are tanky. I see why people have been leaving them. Probably scale to the stats of 80 cap and awakened classes and whatnot. In which case, shit's gonna be OP when it's released. Now, is there a world boss here? I think I've already killed this one, but I don't mind going through and killing them again. Is this the world boss? God damn, okay. Okay, I don't think I'm going to be able to kill this on my own, obviously, but I'm just going to hit it to see how much damage I deal, and then to see how much damage it deals me. God damn, it took nothing. I wonder if the new world bosses are scale to awakened and whatnot too. Anyway. Go this way. Okay, then we go back up and around. Those two. I'm gonna leave the legions for people who actually want the stuff. I'm probably just gonna stick with all of my level 75 gear for level 80 for the most part, because I got a lot of good stuff, as well as pretty much everything I wanted. Okay, we didn't see these enemies earlier, but they are just reskins of mobs we've seen a million times before. Now, I don't think I've been to the area to the south here, so I'm just going to check out what's there, see what's around. Porcupines. The answer is porcupines. Okay. At least the highway is a nice, quick and easy way to traverse throughout the area. We'll need to have some people do a drag race along here sometime. Put on all your movement speed gear and you see who goes the fastest. Okay, we want to go down here. Then over to the other side. Okay, there is one we missed to the north there, so we'll get that first. And then the rest are all on the forest and mountains to the west. Okay. Now everything else should be grouped up on the other side. So 2 or 3 more to go. There's one. chillax. Quite the name for a giant blob. Let's see. Got that one there. Okay. So the other ones are just to the north here. And this should be the last one. There it is. Oh, 30 minutes. Mission accomplished. Now, that said, let's clean up this inventory. These quest items we can probably all get rid of. Okay, here we've got another present for Eloise. One for Raph. And I'm gonna send that to you. Okay. And there we go. Alright, well, we've been going for about 3 hours now, and we finished pretty much everything except for the actual anecdotes within Eloise Plains. So I'm gonna go get some lunch, but I'll start streaming some more EE again tomorrow from 8 AM EST if you want to come along, and we'll yeah, see if we can do the anecdotes. Thank you for coming along. I will be streaming some more Crash later today and some D&D tonight if anyone's going to be around or wanting to be here for those if that's something you're interested in. But yeah, thank you for a good time. and I'm working on getting a proper stream ending screen done up, but that I'll have to do in the meantime. Yeah, I will see you guys whenever I see you next. Thank you again for the follows, and feel free to follow if you haven't. I only need a couple more to be an affiliate, I believe, so feel free to help out. Take care and goodbye.